Call the April 2025 planning meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda is site plan review. The applicant seeks a site plan review approval for the purpose of installing a new LED wall sign which exceeds rather the maximum area allowed by code. The ZBA has already approved the variances for the proposed project back on their March 24th meeting. Is anyone here to talk about that sign?
No, if you guys have any questions, I can answer it.
Yeah, any questions after you guys read through I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a little bigger than what we allow, but ZBA didn't have a problem.
It's, I think most of the signs on that plaza are over.
Bigger anyway.
Yeah, we've approved them in the past.
All right.
I agree.
All right, can I have a motion then to approve the site plan review for that sign that's mentioned in for 178 Clinton Ave? On Riverside Plaza.
Make a motion.
All right, Mike, second.
I'll second that.
Chris, further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carried. All right, our second item on the agenda is a lot consolidation and site plan review for 5153 and 55 Main Street. Applicant seeks approval of plans to consolidate two abutting properties located at 5153 and 55 Main Street. Is anyone here to talk about that?
No, I can answer any questions you might have.
Did you guys have any questions about that?
Just gonna be fully sprinkled.
It already is.
It already is.
But again, the issue is you got, and like we do with many buildings on Main Street. You have two buildings that over time have been cut and chopped up, and this should have been done, 5 years ago when they redid that whole block. It wasn't, so I'm just trying to clean things up as I go.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. So can we have a motion to approve agenda item number 2, the lot consolidation and site plan review for 51, 53 and 55 Main Street?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second that.
So Jim makes the motion, Chris seconds. Further discussion? All those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Our third item on the agenda item number 2, it's 159 Port Watson Street. Applicant seeks approval of special use permit and site plan review. Approval to create a parking area on a vacant lot owned by Jessica and John Bergeron, used as ancillary parking for proposed convenience store on the abutting 161 Port Watson Street parcel. The ZBA approved variances for the proposal back on their March 24th meeting. Is anyone here to discuss that? All right, did you sign in?
No, I didn't.
You might want to sign in just so they have a record of who you are.
Okay, yeah,
Very formal here.
yeah, that's okay.
All right, it seems pretty straightforward, but do you want to add anything to what was written?
Well, I'm just willing, I'm right now renting the property or the parking lot, and once I buy it, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, to get in compliance.
Okay,
So you're the owner of the lot that's being paved or both lots?
I'm the owner of 161,
Okay.
where the convenience store is gonna be.
right,
Okay,
but I rented from John 159 with the intent to buy it in maybe like 2 years, so 1.5 to 2 years.
so right now they're still gonna own the lot.
Right.
But you're gonna pave it to get it ready to be a parking lot.
When I'm the owner, I'm ready to do that, yes.
So,
Right now, I don't own it.
so there won't be any changes to the lot, it's just gonna be an empty lot.
Well, I'm thinking that the only thing is putting maybe some gravel there, putting some signs there, making sure the parking spots are the appropriate size. Whatever needs to happen, and I'm looking for guidance to Roy on that.
Okay,
So let me ask you about the convenience store. When is that going through for permit?
Doesn't have to, the approval, it's approved use, they do gotta go. if they want to sell cigarettes, it has to go through our licensing procedure, but in that zone, unlike the other one you guys had before, a retail store is an allowable
Allowable
use.
use.
Yeah, but wouldn't they need to go for a variance just because of their lot frontage and all that stuff?
The lot's not changing. It was, so, I mean, it was always, it wasn't a store, I mean, she named, they put a sign up or do some sort of expansion on the exterior, yeah, but that's,
It'd be the same size
as
structure.
long as they don't expand the use, you know, it's not a problem.
So there's nothing we can do to really say or not say on that.
No, so it's a retail store is a use by right and GB2.
I mean, I just hate how close that thing is to the sidewalk and whatever else,
I
but
get
we
it.
can't do anything about that.
You know,
So I guess the parking area, and so they would have to probably come back with a plan for the parking area itself, right? I mean,
well, so the ZBA gave them a year and a half or that September, I don't even know what it says now, but they gave them some time frame to get it paved.
right,
At least to see whether the convenience store
is it going?
makes it.
Okay,
Mhm.
There's no sense of her spending, you
a
know,
lot of money.
a lot of money to pave it.
Right.
The guy can't make it work there in a
Right.
year. But it's actually, it's a better area than the other one was, besides the fact that it's a use by right. It's has parking, has the parking's off the main drag, the main entrance is gonna be up, you know, off the Hyatt, so. And the county didn't have any issues with it.
All right, well,
Now, if there's any, let me answer your question, if there's any expansion on the exterior of that building, absolutely, it's gonna be area variance. We're not talking about 161 right now, we're
No.
talking about 151 being,
so, Okay.
159 being ancillary parking for. So, I mean, you could talk about things like you guys can also put it on yours as, it needs to be paved, just like the ZBA did,
okay,
you know?
yeah, let's, if someone wants to go ahead and make a motion, we just have to make sure, like Chris pointed out, lots, shall be temporary gravel / crushed stone. And the lot must be paved in, now they gave you 1 year. Well,
In 1 year, that's what.
with
they do.
installation of a dry well. And one entrance only on Hyatt Street, so that'd be the only entrance that we're allowed. Okay,
Let's, on this, let's take up each, application as an individual vote. Motion,
This is especially used for the site plan.
you know, instead of approving both with one motion
right,
or,
okay.
or not,
Alright.
whatever.
so,
We'll have two motions, one on
Gotcha.
each.
So I'll make a motion to approve the site plan. As presented with 6 spots, I believe.
should we do that first or the, special use
And-
permit first? Doesn't really matter, right? Which order we do them in.
Whatever you like.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to
Wait,
approve the
can-
site
let
plan
me,
review. With Chris is gonna,
Where
indicate
it's-
specifications.
Only temporarily gravel and crushed stone. It must be paved within 1 year. With the installation of a dry well. And only has an entrance on Hyatt Street, not directly onto Fort Watson Street.
All right, can we have a second on that motion?
Is there a map showing this?
Yeah, I think it's right here in the.
Page,
I think they
Page
gave her a little
86.
over a year,
Is that right?
they gave her a little over the year, because if you give her a year, you got 6 months in the construction season right now.
All right,
So they gave her till September 30th of 2026, I think,
okay.
it was like a year and a half.
We modify that to say September 20, whatever, 1 year, so it'll be 1 year and what, 5 months?
Or something. It wasn't, it was like September 30th of 2026.
September 30th. Well, yeah, it's like 17 months. Like Jim,
So you're approving this sketch. I mean, why wouldn't we ask for like a full plan right now?
well, I think maybe when they come back, you'll get the paving, quickly, we get approve the whole thing.
Well, once I get a building permit for the full-on paving, I'll get all that.
You'll get that next time, right? When they come
That's,
back.
I mean, that's what I want to approve. I don't want to approve this.
Oh, you can table it. You need the better sketch. Get it.
I can rescind that motion. We can ask for.
I mean,
a
that's,
extension, that's fine.
a professional drive of putting the borders and everything else, I think, as long as we approve the yes. Use is okay, but. If that's the special use permit, and then for the site plan, we need this to come back as, so you've got approval to go forward, we're not gonna. Shut you down, it's gonna be based on the real. Draw. I mean, that's how I feel, I don't know what this really shows me, as far as curving.
Yeah.
But what's what we're doing. Do you plan on getting a designer to do that?
I don't know yet. I haven't. First step by step. First have the store in there. I applied for 6 parking spots because 2 people will be working there, a couple of people will be shopping there.
Sure.
I have to find out how much I have to pay because the lot is much bigger than the 6 parking spots I put in there.
Right.
So it will be only a small section of the
Oh,
lot will be the parking. So it doesn't have to be right by the sidewalk. I can go a little bit, keep like some, whatever, 6 feet or whatever the rules are. So it's not like very tight.
Right, and part of the variance is, right, the max is 1 or 2 spots and we're putting in 6, right?
Yeah, the only thinking because the store owner and maybe some help has to park too. So,
It makes sense.
yeah, so that's my only thinking. Yeah.
This makes sense.
In that case, if this is sort of going. That way, I think I would rescind my motion, I think we should see a more
detailed sketch.
detailed sketch. Because. Yeah, I would wanna see the. Setback from the sidewalk and. Yeah, and if that lot is that big, I would wanna see this, the parking lot to scale in that
Right.
spot.
Is it gonna require any lighting, or is that gonna come off the side of the store, house, or?
And it is crossing over this driveway, so. That needs to be sort of. Safe for people to cross who are walking from that parking lot. And crossing into that spot.
Yeah.
Crossing into your store, we wanna make sure that's a safe place to walk.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, What,
So I guess we're asking for a more detailed drawing, a little more, detail as far as what you're proposing. Would you be able to come back next month with something like that, or?
is that something I can do, or that's also need basically the map of the property, because I have to, since I don't own it, so I have to, look at the dimensions and figure out,
Yeah.
so I would,
This is the corner, the corner, the block building was knocked down a few years ago.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Now, the parking lot on that,
Mhm.
right? And you're gonna have the store right next door, right?
right, the
Yeah.
store, the little driveway to the back of my building, and then John's place, John's lot.
Yeah. Oh, so you own that building?
The building I own on 161, yes, that I own, but 159 is John
Right,
Doe.
161, right,
Mhm.
my wife's grandmother used to own 163, it was next door, so I know that property
Yeah.
well. There was a daycare, and there was a lot of things in there.
lot of
over the
things,
past
yes.
20 years.
Mhm.
I'd like to see that's been vacant for a long time.
It
It'd
has
be really
been.
nice to see something there, particularly since now you have Bird Dairy down there, there's a lot
Right.
more happening in that area,
Absolutely.
bringing it back to
And
life.
the building is being painted.
Yeah.
I put some new windows in there. I restored the inside of one apartment. It's totally new. So I'm trying to do something out of it and make it look presentable.
Right,
Yeah. I think we encourage that,
Mhm.
I just would wanna make sure there is a solid plan in place before this. Parking lot gets approved. Because if it's happening in stages, I think that's fine with giving time. But I agree, having a better idea of what's gonna go in there would be helpful.
So what you're asking is basically a more detailed map about from the parking spaces.
Right.
Yeah, a scaled plan that's probably drawn by someone.
So you were asking if you could do this yourself, if to hire
Yes,
somebody to
yes,
do it,
exactly, yes.
basically, right,
Yes.
yeah. I'm not gonna know the answer to that, Jim.
I don't know either, I mean,
I mean, it'd be very tough without, unless you have knowledge of what the requirements are to go into the parking
Mhm.
facility to do it on your own. But I don't know, Roy, maybe you have more experience with the ability to pull that off, but I just think there's a lot of details that need to be ironed out to make sure it's done correctly. Where a professional designer would know those things.
The building that came down used to be a bar and he had no parking. And it was an antique store for a little bit. And it was knocked down.
Yeah.
So, and it was, the problem with that storefront is it always never had any parking at all.
Right,
It's tough to park in front of it because
Yes.
it's that coffee making
Yes.
across the street. And the cars there, they go into that second lane,
get around.
to get around.
right.
No, if there's a convenience store going in, you need, this is a great idea.
Yeah,
It's awesome that the lot's there to be able to do it, but I just.
we want to see you succeed with this, so.
Yeah, I think we're in favor of the plan, we just would like to see a little bit more detail about how the parking situation, if you could somehow come back with some. Whether you do it or somebody else, I don't think that really matters, as long as everything's to scale and you can see the spots and where they're gonna be and the exit, how it's gonna,
Is there anybody you could recommend who could help me with that?
So I could recommend that, if you want to submit something in advance of that meeting, I could circulate it.
Mhm.
If people have additional questions or additional, or if there's additional detail you're looking for, I could communicate that back.
Well, who's it?
Well,
who's
first
it
of all,
site
she's asking
designer?
how to make it though, before it gets to us.
Oh,
Well, since she needs a driveway and it's gonna need a drywall that would have to be engineered anyway. Whoever would do the driveway would provide all that for her usually. So if you know who's gonna pave it and you had a company to do it, they could start with a
Plan for it.
preliminary drawing. That,
Well, I normally,
yeah,
I normally have like the first, I mean, of course, my thing is I don't own it at this point.
yeah,
So when I do driveways for the city, I use Dave Griffin,
yeah,
simple as that. Can he do the drawing? I don't know.
yeah.
No.
Well, I don't think we could
We can't. write it.
approve
Yeah.
paving somebody else's property anyway without them applying that it get paved.
It's true.
Right, exactly, yes. So it's probably better to buy it sooner than later, right?
Right.
What is the request asking?
Well, they just told me 1 year. I thought 2 years also.
Well, on the memo, it has 1 year, but we said, I
Yeah.
think where it said till September of 2026, so that gives you a little more than a year.
I thought it was 37, but.
Yeah, me too.
But this is separate from a business that you would, I mean, this, yeah, and you're right, it has to be the owner who's coming too.
Well, she's going to be,
You're gonna purchase it.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm planning, I don't purchase it this year. I can, definitely not this year, but I'm planning it as soon as I can. But right now it's kind of like, yeah.
Oh, so it's a little bit of a cart before the horse.
Yeah,
Yes, because I thought, I rented first and it would be, I could
Oh,
use it for
rent it,
parking
yeah.
and then. But I guess a lot of different issues I have to deal with, yes.
So where do you guys wanna go with this? Your pleasure. You rescinded your motion. so
Yeah,
that's
what if-
no longer on the table.
could we say something like? It's approved. As drawn. For a period of time, and then in. The fall,
When
say
the paving
September
takes
twenty
place,
twenty-five
we'd
or
like to see
October
it.
2025.
Right,
We would like to see a more detailed
so,
paving plan. Is that possible? I don't even know if we can ask for that, but.
okay.
seems like,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we can,
Yeah.
there's not even dimensions on this.
Yeah.
What are you approving right here?
How many spots?
Yeah.
6 spots, I think.
And this is a schematic thought process that we're in agreement with, but we just need to see what it's actually gonna end up
Yeah.
in place.
For safety reasons, like where's the entrance? How many feet that is?
Well, there's from Hyatt Street, there are like looks like a driveway entrance to the property. Turns
Yeah.
out.
Cut out.
Yes, that's cut out. It's like a driveway. So there used to be a driveway, I think. The thing, I mean, the thing is also, there's not even I want somebody in there. This person hasn't even moved physically into the store. And I just want to pave the way when this person moves into the store or this company, that there is something that they can park, because at the back of the building on 161 Port Watson, I don't have enough parking. So I need something to even like give the store any kind of life, because at this point, it's not even, you know, I can't even, and that was a problem previously, I couldn't even rent it because people need parking.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, what do I do with that store? And then when John said, okay, you can rent it from me with the, you know, with the plan to buy it, then I thought, yeah, that makes sense. And that's why I'm here.
So you're really kind of stuck without this
Yeah.
approval, you can't really go forward.
Right.
Is that what we're saying?
Right, yes,
So you would need some kind of approval to continue your work.
There
So-
is an entrance, if you looked at it, right?
Yeah.
On, in the back, on Hyatt, over here, to go in.
I mean, I'd like to, personally, I'd like to see her get approval temporarily, like Chris said. With the idea that when it's paved, then you gotta come back with more details.
Well, before it's paved.
Or, yeah, before you
Yeah.
spend
When-
all the money on
but-
paving.
I think there needs to be some kind of a firm timeline, so it gets paved.
Right.
You
Yeah,
got
we
any
could-
thoughts on this, what you would want?
You gotta give her special use permit, cause you can't have ancillary parking in a GV2 without a special use permit. Cause it's not the same address.
So that special use permit can be revoked.
And we can set a timeline.
Let's do that then. Let's give her a certain amount of time to get the parking situated. So at least you can go forward with the projects. I think it's a good project. You know,
Near the ZBA's, which was a little over, well, it was, if you give her a year, that year's gonna be up when it's not construction season.
right.
That's why the ZBA gave her that additional time frame back. Until
But we're
September
saying-
30th.
But I think what we're saying is we wanna see
Oh, you want to plan
the
before it's
detailed
paved.
site plan before that year is up, so that,
Gotcha.
that's why. I
Yeah,
was
that
saying
could
fall
certainly be, that
2025.
could certainly be in a year, absolutely, and site plan, sure.
So let's say we'd like to see, we have to see the site plan within a year, but the paving could still take place during next summer when it's construction.
For the
So-
summer, the 26th.
Yeah, 2026.
They gave her the end of construction 2026.
That gives her a chance to get going, that gives us an opportunity to review everything in more detail, so that nothing gets approved like long term. You know?
Say by the end of April.
Yeah, by the end of April of next year, we wanna see a detailed plan.
Theoretically, I mean, I'm not an attorney or anything, but I think you could approve the special use permit and not approve the site plan right now, because you haven't got enough information. That way she can begin the process of using it as ancillary
Yeah.
parking,
Okay.
but you haven't approved the site plan because you haven't got enough information.
You guys be willing to work that way?
That's good.
Okay,
I'm willing to work.
so do you wanna put that back on the table, approve the special use permit, but not the site plan until we get more detail?
Yeah.
That seem fair?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm just worried that. I just think there needs to be yeah, exactly. I think there needs to be a timeframe on the special use permit.
Yeah, I agree, because otherwise it might just stay there.
You wanna give them, like where I said, until next September to get everything finished, or how do you wanna leave it? I'm just trying to give them enough time to get the stuff done, but us enough time to review it.
I'm fine with going, as long as it does come back to us, I'm fine to September.
Until September of 2026.
And then we bring the site plan back in front of us.
Alright, so we wanna make that motion.
I guess the only other piece is Bergeron signed off on this, right? His he's good. We
Should
have
be
his
there.
signature,
Should be in that.
right? I
packet,
thought I saw his
Yeah.
signature on
Yeah.
something, so, yeah, I think we're good.
yeah, we talked, yeah, he's fine with
so
it.
you could certainly put a timeframe on the special use permit.
So a condition at least.
Yeah,
right?
that it can be, and then I can take it away if it's not, if those conditions are suspended or whatever. you wanna call it.
So we want the site plan to come to us before the end of September, right?
And of next September,
Of next September.
right?
But you said a year, right?
Well, that was
Well, we're trying to
before,
tie it in with the ZBA's recommendation.
I
whatever.
understand that, but you just said you want, no, I'm not trying to twist your words here, but you just said you want the site plan before it's paid.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay,
Yeah,
so
the
right, so-
ZBA gave her till September 30th of 2026 to get it paid, to
Yeah,
get
for
it
the
finished
work.
problem. You guys will want that,
site
site
plan
plan
review
quicker.
before that.
You would need, you
Right.
will want to approve the site plan with enough time to have that paving.
So
Yeah.
we're approving the special
Yeah.
use permit to the same time period with the extent, with the understanding that
Yeah,
you
gotcha.
come to us for with the site plan earlier. And if
Okay.
it's not done before that, then the special use permit goes away on September 30th of next year.
So the site plan is basically the drawing,
Yeah, somebody that draws and engineers that, okay, they'll have a drywall here. and-
okay,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
And where the lines will be painted.
okay,
And by approving a special use permit, that will allow people to park there temporarily for the next calendar year plus 4 or 5, whatever the number of months is till next September, so. That kind of gives you a little bit of wiggle room to get, you know, more detailed plan.
so I have like a year approximately, or year and
Yeah.
plus. And the site plan should be there a little bit earlier, I understand, yeah,
So the special use permit that's allowing you to have, or whoever's there to have people park in that is gonna disappear as of September 30th, so that you have to have
right,
site plan and the
Right.
paving before that.
so until then, people can
Can park,
can park there.
yeah, right? Gentlemen?
That's fine.
I mean, I think they do need to gravel something, so you're not making a muddy mess of a lot.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
I mean,
because
you
of
need to
the
make
gravel
provisions.
makes sense, yeah,
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 that was-
They're gonna have to lay down
Some fabric
a
and
gravel base
whatever.
before they pave it anyway.
Yeah,
All right, somebody wanna make that motion?
I'll make that move unless you want to follow through.
No, it's not
So we
fun.
got a
Nothing to do
motion.
with it.
Okay,
We're gonna approve the special use permit for the temporary amount of time, but we want her to come back with these,
So I make a motion to approve the special use permit for parking until September 30th of 2026. And you know, and that's really.
let's just
what we're
take care of
doing.
that.
That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, now,
Then it
it's-
ends.
mhm,
We got- yeah, do you have a question or?
Yeah, well,
comment?
yeah, I'm gonna offer this. At least a year from now, that site plan should be to them so that we can pay.
right,
you
no,
go
of
ahead and
course,
pay
that
it,
should
that
be
next
before
one
the
next year,
paving,
it'd be
yeah,
good.
yeah, that should be,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's on you to get to
Yeah.
us in time,
right,
right? Like-
Anytime before that is fine, but at least by April of next year.
yeah,
We're just
Right,
gonna get
we're,
special.
so we're saying it that special use permit goes away September 30th, 2026.
Right, so you
You
got,
have a year
But I wanna get
and
you a
time to
plan
pay,
by
yes,
April.
you gotta get it here
Yeah.
earlier than that.
Right, 'cause
Yeah.
you don't want you coming in September.
right, September
to-
first, and
And
then,
then
yeah.
to extend it, yeah.
all right, we get a second on that?
I'll second.
Wait, do we
All right,
wanna,
Mike, further discussion?
Hold on,
Go ahead,
Ian,
Chris.
do we wanna list out those conditions? It needs to be, have gravel now,
Mhm.
and,
There were
We
3
wanna
things on your computer, yeah.
well, that. The expectation is that it will be paved
Mhm.
by September 30th, 2026,
Okay,
and dry well, and we need to approve that site plan
mhm,
well before that date,
mhm,
in order for you to have time to
Right.
actually do the work. So
right.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think that's clear.
Yeah.
Is it
That
clear
was,
for you?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
just have to find somebody now who does a plan.
so Chris piggybacked on Brendan's motion. Now we need a second.
well, so the special use permit was motioned by Chris.
Well,
No,
Brendan made a
Brendan, I
motion.
made a special use.
Then
permit.
Chris added the.
I just wanna make sure those.
Right, but and those,
conditions are in the,
well, those are kind of notes to us, because that's
Right.
that's for the site plan.
Right,
The
right.
special use permit, regardless, is gonna disappear in September 30th.
Well, we
Right,
just
right.
wanna make sure that they can park on it now. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, yeah.
What his notes are
So
requiring.
the
In
gravel.
order for them to use it, all they need to do a
Just
few
those
things,
things,
a
right,
couple of things.
So it'll be an approval till September 30th, as long as there's gravel put down on it.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
Everybody good on that?
Yes.
All right, we need a second still.
I'll second.
All right, Mike, further discussion. All right, all those in favor of approving the special use permits, that's all we're voting on today.
Okay,
All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. So you got your special use permits, make sure you get back to us on the site plan.
site plan, and I just, at this point, just a gravel.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's what will work for you.
Okay.
I'll suggest that you make a motion on the site plan itself,
Okay,
a motion to deny it.
because we can't table it for a year, right? There's
No.
something about.
Yeah.
If it, yeah, you've got 60 days to approve or deny, and if you don't deny, it's
Alright.
approved.
All right, so then I have a
Okay.
motion to deny the site plan review. This is the
I'll
technical.
make a
All right,
motion.
Mike makes a motion to deny that. Can we get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Jim, any further discussion on that? All right, all those in favor of denying the site plan review?
Aye.
Anyone in favor? Okay, so that's a technicality, we can turn that down,
Yeah.
you're back with us
Yeah.
with more detail, we can vote on that. But whenever-
I understand, yeah.
come back.
Okay.
Gives you a chance to get started.
Yeah.
Flow things down completely.
Do you, just out of curiosity, do you have somebody already ready to rent?
yes,
there?
but they haven't moved in yet, so. Right now it's empty, but I have somebody who signed a lease and wants to go in there, but they haven't gone in there yet.
Is
Right.
this the same guy that was at the other place?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's the same guy,
Yeah.
it's the same guy, and we told them it's only groceries and convenience.
It is the same, do you know what we're talking about?
I think.
Yeah, they're the landlord.
It was like a head shop, right?
Yeah.
That was
It
gonna
was
be
like-
across the
it
street
was-
from the bar.
It was some, whatever, some snacks, but
It's
also,
only for my curiosity.
yeah, we got food, yeah.
Term anymore.
Okay,
So now we make it clear to them that's only groceries or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Some food items, some
No tobacco.
Pepsi
no
products,
alcohol,
whatever, yeah. Mhm.
Nothing like that,
Okay.
only groceries.
Yeah,
Good.
and if they don't abide by this, then,
Their
you know,
lease is terminated.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Sounds fair, sounds fair.
All right.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
well,
See you-
thank you,
see you in a
let's see
year,
how it
maybe
takes
sooner.
off. That.
All right, let's move on
Okay.
to agenda item
Okay.
number 4.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 199 Clinton Ave, special use permit. The applicant seeks approval of home occupation in his owner occupied home. Home occupants are allowed in R1 district with a special use permit. So I thought he was gonna live there. He's getting somebody else to live there.
No,
obviously.
what it is,
what's the business?
Airbnb.
That's what I was-
so what it is according to our rental permit law. 2-family owner occupieds are exempt from rental permits. So had this had a rental permit, he wouldn't be here right now. But since they're exempt from rental permits, the city needs a way to regulate. This,
Mhm.
so I've deemed it a home occupation, cause he lives there and he's renting it.
Yeah.
And instead of having a rental permit, he has a special use permit application.
So that's what we're voting on, whether this.
So if it was a single family rental, it would have a rental permit. If it was a 3-family rental, it would have a rental permit. Since it's a 2-family owner occupied and it's exempt, it does not have a rental permit, hence the special use permit.
And we're talking Airbnb.
Yes,
Okay, just wanted to make sure I was understanding. it.
hopefully the next rewrite will say something about, this is the only way we have to regulate it right now.
Yeah.
Or we could.
And there's reading in there says he needs to stay occupying in the space he can't.
Well, once he doesn't, then it's
Then he's,
a rental, it's a full on rental. And he's in violation of that.
all right, that's what I thought.
Besides that, once he does, a special use permit's not any good anyway, so they're not transferable.
So as long as he stays there in one of the spots, then it's.
It is
legit.
owner occupied. 2-family, yeah.
All right, so anybody want to make a motion on this, on agenda item number 4, special use permit?
I'm just, real quick, I understand this has been ongoing for, I mean, as far as I know, it's never been a problem. So this isn't something new, he's been doing it for,
He's already doing it.
yeah.
Okay,
There was
Well, so-
there were some notes from county that might be worth reading through, I don't know, just before we go on it.
I expect that you'll start to see some more of these. Since Mrs. Greenwood has been working with these people to get them registered to pay occupancy tax. So I said, this is like the first one that we've seen so far, but I suspect we're gonna see more by the time the amnesty deadline was.
So the amnesty is just for the first 6 months of this year to get people all in compliance and figured that was a good way to get people to voluntarily. Just get themselves sorted out and properly permitted before they had to start collecting the occupancy tax, so.
For the,
Rather than try to track people down and have penalties, I figured it's always nicer to do the
Yeah,
whole
lots of-
carrot on the stick if we can manage it.
for the Airbnbs now, that's the occupancy tax.
Yes,
300.
and hotels.
Was there pertinent notes there, Chris, that you wanted to?
Just, there's, you know, making sure that that the property is in compliance with our code in general.
As long as he stays in one portion, then he's okay, right?
Yeah.
So, and then, but they do have a couple of recommendations, that the city consider and make the general finding listed in Article 16 Code 300-162.
Number,
300-162.
yeah, and there's some. 1, 2, 3,
It's Article 16.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 362, right?
Yep.
So maybe it takes
Article
about 60.
16, is there another page?
16, 63.
Maybe all 3 bullets or. No,
Yeah.
So there's 363 G, it's listed right here.
63 G?
Is that what she's, is that what they said?
And the other condition is that the city consider incorporating language pertaining to short-term rentals into the comprehensive plan,
Which is being redone.
which is
It's
in
happening now.
happening. So just something that the,
Tony wanted to call her attention to.
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned with it being owner occupied, he's there, he's the one that's dealing, or
Yeah,
she, whatever.
yeah, well,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
You still need, again, this is just the way I'm trying to fix a
Loophole.
loophole.
Yeah, for sure.
And I believe this is a good way to fix it, so that way, I mean, he's been doing this for however long he says he's been doing it, hasn't been a problem.
Right.
He sells the house as a Airbnb, and now the new owners don't give a rat's ass,
That's gonna be a problem, right?
well, don't care, excuse me.
Right, yes, we knew what you meant.
Then you have a problem, right? So this is the way I think here.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
That goes away with the sale.
Whereas every other property in the city, besides 2-family owner occupied, we have a round permit on them anyway. This is, we don't have it, so we gotta, so that's why I did
To
it.
address it, right. All right, I'll ask Jack.
Rental permits cover Airbnbs right now?
Huh?
Rental permits will cover the Airbnb.
If they've got one, yeah. So I mean, like a 3-family,
You say a student housing, just as, I'm curious, they just say a student housing in the
Yes.
summer, they're doing Airbnb.
yes,
The rental covers it.
yes.
I think.
Well, as soon as. Hopefully, I'm gonna say hopefully, Brendan, that update's coming out here pretty quick, that is no longer going, one of the. Key points of that is there's no more self inspections.
Yeah.
It's a huge part of it, because obviously we wanna make sure these places are safe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and. So the biggest, that's one of the big highlights, there's other ones, but one of the big highlights of that is. There's no, you can't inspect it yourself anymore, you just can't put your name on a piece of paper with a notary and say it's fine. You either have to hire the city to inspect your building, or you have to hire a New York State code enforcement official. Another code enforcement official to inspect your buildings, if you have a 1 or 2 family.
We don't see dining rooms turned into bedrooms.
Then that goes, so there's nuisance property updates that are coming, and that ultimately, we're gonna see a more enforceable. Sort of, ultimately, everything, all the changes are gonna be more enforceable than our older law was, which proved to be virtually unenforceable.
I will still make a motion.
Special use permit for 199 Clinton Ave.
Yeah.
We were doing something, right?
Still
All right, we get a second on that?
I'll second that.
All right, Chris, further discussion? All right, all those in favor of agenda item number 4, special use permit for 199 Clinton Ave, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. All right, now, I didn't see the minutes from last month. I was over here, so I didn't, I don't feel comfortable voting on those.
That's fine. So.
We'll
The
get
minutes
that vice chair
from
vote, or-
the previous meeting,
Not officially the vice chair.
I think we need to make an appointment or ask for a volunteer, because Ryan's not here.
Isn't there a
anymore,
way
so
that-
Somebody, just in case I'm not here.
so.
Can we vote on
Good.
the vice chair now?
I was thinking,
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
with
it's
regard to
On favor.
minutes, we have outstanding January sixth and March third.
Okay,
The January meeting minutes were electronically lost.
oh, really?
I had to recreate them, which I did from the decision sheets.
Wow.
And
So should we wait, maybe, one we had a chance to read through, maybe approve them next month?
understanding that you're just seeing them, sure.
Okay,
And,
why don't we
with the
table this?
understanding that it should say minutes, not agenda.
Right.
So,
All right,
well, I'll send these electronically to you
okay,
and, we'll have them for approval.
for next month, okay, yeah. I don't think there's a
Both of them?
problem with
Yeah.
that.
Works for me.
Anything else on the agenda, anything else you guys want to bring up, planning or?
Only if we wanna come up with a vice chair.
vice,
We should have.
Or we can take
So
it.
it's not just a classic.
Chris's vacant spot, I think we probably should, just a formality, just have it on record that this person, whoever it is. Would run the meetings, you know, if the chairman's not here.
You're suggesting,
Well, I think we need to,
Chris was the
we need to
vice chair.
select a vice
oh,
chair.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about a person to be appointed, that they would also. You want to make him chair.
No, not the-
No.
Yeah, that might be the easier way.
Whoever's coming on board, we're gonna make that
Vice chair, they know what they're doing. Vice and head chair, yeah.
Yeah, certainly, if anybody wants to make a motion to, to name. a
Nominate
vice
somebody and
chair,
then
sure.
vote, okay. Can I have a nomination for, what is the title?
Vice chair,
Vice chair, all right, I have a nomination for vice chair,
I would nominate Chris Peppel.
all right. Can I get a second
You're
on that?
welcome.
Oh, yeah. I'll second that.
All right, Chris, do you have any inklings, one way or the other? I mean, you know, Brian, okay, just run that.
Yeah, I don't-
Win our vote,
that's fine.
campaign.
All right, all those in favor of Chris Buckle, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? You can just oppose yourself.
It's not- it's not-
Chris is-
we'll
Chris is
out.
now the-
Yeah, right.
All right, can I have a motion to adjourn our meeting and our
Yeah,
next meeting?
you gotta-
I think I looked at the calendar. May
Motion to
5th
adjourn.
Is our next meeting. Yep, I'm all right, okay, so.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn,
Yes, motion.
Brandon, second?
Yep.
Mike, all those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, see you guys tonight, good job, good meeting, got a lot of.